Toby, how long have you been living with HIV?
25 years now, actually. I was diagnosed in 1997, but during that time, I then realized actually that I was probably infected in 93, because I remember the time when I sort of had like flu-like symptoms, and I think I was going through the seroconversion process then. Yeah. What about you then?
So I was diagnosed in 2014, and I'm born in Britain, but my family are from South Asia, so that's India and Pakistan, and I think there was a lot of cultural barriers and maybe even religious barriers that kind of didn't make me understand HIV and AIDS. How about you? Where are you from?
I was born in Zimbabwe, actually, in Bulawayo. I came to the UK in 1990.
Okay.
So I'd been living in this country for about 7 years when I was diagnosed.
I know that you were diagnosed whilst you were pregnant. Is that right?
I was, yes. I was pregnant with our second child. The GP said to me, "Your husband has something to tell you."
Right.
And that's how it came out. He basically said, "They say I have HIV."
How did that make you feel? Because I can't even fathom how all of that responsibility in the family network around me would have made me feel, because I was felt very lonely by and isolated by HIV. So what did that mean for you as a family network?
I think I felt that everyone at the time didn't really know much about HIV and AIDS, and therefore the minute I told them, their reaction would be, "Oh my God, you're going to die soon." And I wasn't ready, I think, to see people reacting that way.
And there is a huge aspect of shame attached
Yeah.
to HIV, and I think that's why so many people find it difficult to talk about it. I'm still to find those people who identify as British or maybe Asian, South Asian, that are open about their HIV status, because it is so stigmatized. And there's a lot of cultural and religious aspects that really, really define how we're brought up. HIV has so much connotation around how you contract the virus, and because of that, it brings so much shame in people that it's really hard for people to reveal that status or how they would be seen by the community.
For me, I think one of the most difficult things was actually telling my children about my status. My son actually was just a month from starting his GCSEs. And I remember debating whether that would be the best time to tell them. But then I realized that, there would never be the best time to tell them. But because I was so comfortable with it at the time, they saw that I was comfortable, I wasn't crying, I wasn't going to die. And therefore, they were comfortable actually hearing that I was living with it, but healthy. And in a way, I think that was the best thing I've done, because them knowing, we could then talk about what they needed to do in order to, prevent themselves getting into the same position that I was. The way I'm parenting them now is that we talk openly about sex, about health, about all those things that I didn't have, because in my culture, you never talked about sex.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
In my culture, we don't talk about sex. It's a huge taboo, and education is power. And that's the one thing that I want to say to my community as well. If you are HIV positive, it's not a sinful act. Yeah. It's not something that's happening. You're not going to go to eternal hell for it. But that you kind of need to get to a comfortable place with that diagnosis and know that there are people like us who are living and thriving with HIV.